I was 18 years old. To me, it wasn't a big deal. According to the news and everything, it was for the betterment of Newfoundland.
I was born in 51.
Okay.
I have a lot of knowledge about it, but it's not. I didn't experience it.
Yeah.
I very seldom talk about something I didn't experience. But 1949, when Confederation happened, there were two terms of agreement. There was a general term, and there was a second term. It was called the hidden terms of agreement, and it was put in place to stop First Nations people in Newfoundland to be recognized. So what happened? The government penned a different document that was signed by the federal government, and they were even warned by the federal government not to do it. They would pay dearly at some point in the future. And it was designed so that Indigenous people in Newfoundland would be seen as invisible. So we were invisible. We had no rights at all, none, zero. That's why there's been such a struggle over the years, because we were always invisible, which is why a lot of people don't know they're McKnight. And a lot of people think they are, they're not.
The only thing I remember is my grandparents telling me that they were getting $12 every 3 months before Confederation. $12 every year. You get $48 a year. You know what I mean? $50 a month they started getting after Confederation instead of $50 a year. I remember only a little bit in the fact that my parents were getting more money, and they always talked about that.
When I was born in 42, so that was what, 7, more over the years, there was always conversations about Confederation. And I remember I was only about maybe 10 or so when the Queen became Queen. So there was a big celebration for that. So there should have been a big celebration, and I guess there was, for Confederation.
I don't, because I was only very young, only 2 years old. They did, but my parents are passed away, and from the age that I am, they'd be pretty old if they were alive now. But yeah, I've heard stories from them saying, how Confederation was, and that they figured it was going to be better because of what was said at the time by other people. Right?
Things were kept very quiet, very secretive. The one thing I know that proves we were under British rule, I have a passport belonging to my Uncle Norbert. This is a British passport. So I know that we were under the British rule. And he has this. I was 9 when the Confederation, when we went under Confederation. I have nothing to show my life before that as far as government goes. People did ask if we were dual citizens. When I inquired, I was told no, that the government I squashed that, I don't know, but said no, we were Canadian. Stayed the same. We were pretty much under the American influence by this time, because they came in around 39-40, and Confederation started in 1949. So we were already under, and our parents were already under American influence at that time.
My memory, what I've got, my mother told me a lot when I became a teenager, but anyway, she was poor. Was POOR in every family, so it was that's what it was like before Confederation in this community.
Well, 5 years old. I turned 5 in 49. I was born before Confederation, but that didn't mean. Yeah, they talked about it from time to time. I guess they thought it was a good thing, and so it's almost after so many years they began to wonder, about it. So I don't think there was too much talk on it. It was a difference, because I think when they joined in with Canada, they were given some benefits, whether it was good, like I think they were entitled to probably unemployment or stuff, and they had unemployment insurance and other benefits that came with it at the time. So that's.
I was born before Confederation, so I have no recollection of that time. I don't think things changed very much at all. I know that people had a difficult life in one sense. There weren't a lot of jobs around. Just didn't have any surplus money. No one used credit.
Months after I was born, Joey Smallwood was God. He was the savior that come down and saved us. And well, see, they were very poor, and I guess when we joined Canada, they started sending out checks to people and stuff like that. And they thought it was the biggest mistake we ever made. I do not consider myself a Canadian. First and foremost, I am a Newfoundland. It was rough then. I'm not saying it wasn't. I used to hear my parents talk about how bad it was. But if Newfoundland had stayed on its own, that's only my opinion now. If Newfoundland had stayed on its own, we'd be like Iceland now. We'd be sailing high. We'd be, fishery, because it's the federal government that ruined our fishery. It's the federal government ruined Newfoundland. They believed that if we would have stayed on our own, we would have done good.
Well, it was 1949. We joined Canada, and I was born in 36, 49, 13, so I was 13. No, I guess the thing of it is when we got our baby bonus, I suppose,
April 3rd, 1949, I was 5.
And I was 1946, 4.
I was born.
I remember
Remember Joey Smallwood?
I remember them coming, a parade going through.
Oh, yeah,
right?
I remember
going through Aguaduna into the quarry.
Yeah, I can remember something with that.
He's got a terrific memory.
Yeah, I was very young. Maybe that's when the Newfoundland joined Confederation, 1949. That was about 45, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And the limestone quarry used to be a quarry planting there. And they had a parade. And I think it was for that. I'm not quite sure. But,
yeah, it was
but there was a parade right from where the mines do. And we marched, we walked a bunch of people, and they were thumbing up in the back of the dump truck or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, from where the mine used to be, and it came right up to where the big churches do. That was our church we went to.
Yeah.
And we turned around there and we went back into the quarry. Now, Confederation that
I was 6. Jeez, I remember when I was 6. But we didn't get very much money, I'll tell you that. But so I don't know too much about that. The only time they taught Joey Smallwood was God. That's the only thing I tell you. And Joey Smallwood was their God. He did everything for them, as they said. Little did they know what Joey Smallwood did. Because if you were Indian, you were not allowed to vote. So there was no Indians then. Everybody voted for Joey Smallwood because they had nothing before Joey Smallwood. So that's why there was no Indians around.